G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a long-term review of me fucking darling Rebel over here. Now, she's a bit fucking filthy, this thing right now. Mainly because we went for a ride up to Wilson's Prom, and this thing really made me think about the negatives about this bike being a cruiser that isn't really a cruiser. So, first things first, in a long-term review, anything we'll tell you is this fucking thing sucks ass after a long period of time. About 40 minutes and then your ass hurts. It is the first thing you should change when you get the bike, well, besides the sewing machine, that is the exhaust. But this thing, man, bloody useless, this seat, I'm telling you that much. Otherwise, yeah, this seat, man, first thing that needs to go on this bloody bike is this seat. Now, it's a firm fucking seat. It looks nice, but it isn't really functionally great. It sucks to sit on after a while, mainly because it just hurts your ass. I typically chafe a bit on this as well, so if you can get the chance to, man, get rid of it. Also, when you're going around the highways and shit, this thing blows around like there's no fucking tomorrow. A big gust of wind comes sideways, mate, you're going with it. So, if you're going for big tours, keep that in mind. Also, this cowl on the front does not stop as much wind as you'd want it to, which is a shame. It does definitely do better than not having it there, but after a full day of riding, I tell you, you're really holding on, and you're feeling that you're holding on and not sitting on the bike, you know what I mean? You sort of feel like you're holding on from the wind. You don't feel like you're just comfortably sitting in. It's a bit of a shame. It's really funny, before these kids come around offering me lollies because of the school projects. I don't know if you remember doing that when you had to sell chocolates and shit around the neighbourhood. God, I don't miss doing those. Also, these mid controls, after a full day of riding, your hip flexors sort of start feeling a little bit tight, man. Honestly, that is just, they're good as a commuting thing, but a whole day thing, they kind of suck. Fortunately, you can buy a forward control. You probably put them out where the shifter is. Called the Red Dragon forward control kits. You'll see them if you're in any fucking Rebel groups. But yeah, they're pretty, about six, solve that problem. Finally is power, man. Typical Rebel 500 problems. Just, they're low on the power. But otherwise, if you're living in a city and you're just looking for a little commuter bike, I can't think of anything really better if you're looking for a cruiser bike, because cruisers are typically big lumbering land barges. Alright? It's the one thing about cruisers that this Rebel sort of doesn't do, which is the big weighted lumbering oaf, which is what most cruisers are. But besides that, this cruiser isn't it's a nice looking, nimble, flickable cruiser. It's almost like a blend between a naked bike and a cruiser bike, you know what I mean? It's not fast, but it's not slow. Well, it's kind of slow if you really think about it, but by cruiser standards, it's not bad. But yeah, it does the job, dude. It's a cruiser bike, but it's really a naked bike at heart, but it's slow like a cruiser bike. It's got the twin parallels. It's got a bit of torque. It's not much. Not much at all. It's only got 40 newton meters of torque, which is goddamn mind-blowing if you've ever ridden a cruiser bike with torque. Look, it's a light bike. It's a very nimble bike. It's a very flickable bike. It's a fun bike, alright? It's like a Grom in a sense, where it's not great at anything in particular, it's fun. So, whereas the Grom is just a fucking meme, but I want one. So the Rebel, however, it's good at many things, alright? But it's not great at anything in particular. So comfort is not something it's great at if you're going for long distance. Wind protection, it's not good at all. Speed, God have mercy, if you want a fast bike, don't buy a Rebel. And if you do if your heart is set on a Rebel and you can't get the 500 because it's just, you don't want the 500, go for the fucking 1100, cunt. You can't go wrong with the 1100. Besides the fact that, if you want a sports bike, don't get an 1100. But the thing about the Rebel is it's not made to be fast. It's not made to be, comfortable. It's meant to be what it is. It's just it's a workhorse bike that does that well, alright? So if you like commuting around the city or you don't really go on big rides, mate, by all means, this is your fucking bike to go for. It does nothing wrong. Like I said, it does nothing wrong, but it does nothing great. Its exhaust is nice, but it also has that lawnmower property because it's, a 9-degree crank, I believe. Whereas if you want that beautiful sound, you'd probably go for an R7 or an MT-07. They've got a nice noise. But if you're going to be riding this thing around the town and you're really going to be pushing how far you want to ride this thing, I would suggest upgrading the seat straight away. Maybe the forward control mod if you're not a big fan of mids. Now look, if you're throwing it in the corners, you're going to lose a bit of angle if you buy that forward control thing. So I wouldn't do that. That's why I haven't done it, although I thought about it, but then I ride it like an absolute animal, and then I'm like, forwards would absolutely ruin this thing. So that's why I haven't done that. But yeah, so the Rebel 500, it's not a fast bike, it's not a great comfortable bike, it's a great beginner bike. And when you realise that, you sort of come to terms with what it is and you sort of know exactly what to expect from it. Like, it's not meant to do anything phenomenally well. It's great at what it is. It's a jack of all trades, definitely a master of none. But hey man, like I said, it's a beginner bike, it knows what it is, alright? That's what's good about it. It knows it's a beginner bike. You got the big front tyre for that bobber styling. It also doesn't get stuck in all the cracks in the roads. Fuel economy is phenomenal. It looks nice, alright? It's an objective thing to me. Subjective, of course, looks are subjective. But to me, I think the Rebel nails its styling. It's a small little cruiser, which can also be a negative. If you're a taller man, you're going to look like a fucking ape on this thing, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, it is not meant for taller people. But on the upside, like, if you're an average size man, like I'm only 5'9", you'll fucking be able to flatfoot this thing with bent knees comfortably without even breaking a sweat, really. Like I said, fuel economy is good, nice and light. It only weighs, what, 192 kilos wet or something along those lines, so it's nothing crazy. If you drop it, you'll be able to pick it up again. The mirrors in its stock position are actually quite nice. When you ride it for a long period of time, it leaves a lot to be desired. So it's not, like I said, it's not fast, it's not super stupidly comfortable, but it's a nice beginner bike. So if this is your first bike, fucking hell, man, you've done a good job, but you're gonna get over it eventually, alright? Those who say you don't get over a bike, well, either you're not riding hard and you're comfortable riding that sort of level, but if you're sort of pushing to become like that rider, you're not gonna love this bike for too long. It's just not that kind of bike, dude. Plus, it still brings a smile to your face. Like as long as it's got two wheels and an engine, you're gonna be happy, right? Anyway, that's sort of my 2 cents on the whole thing, but as always, take it easy, keep it cheesy, and as always, peace!